First up today on AGetc, we're joined by Ignacio Ciampitti and Justin Knopf, are talking precision ag. Next, we look at one Kansas company that is constantly trying to improve water efficiencies through technological innovations. Then Erine the Horse Guy is joined by Francis and John Duckworth. Next, Curt Pate demonstrates moving cattle calmly through gates. And we'll end with Dale Blasi talking about research into limit feeding cattle. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
How you can see the precision ag and the new technologies helping you in the future?
Well, it's been a wonderful opportunity for us to partner with you in this research and looking at precision agriculture and utilizing it as a tool to do on-farm research to better fine-tune our populations in on our fields. And then also, I think for us farmers, precision ag is overwhelming in many regards, and we have all this data, and the age-old question with it is, what do we use the data to do? And doing this study with you, looking at different yield environments that have become pretty apparent in this field, and then having that population study go across those multiple yield environments is helpful for me to, simplify it a little bit and actually break it down into some things that I can do from a management perspective in the future to say, I know it seems like we've got a pretty consistent trend of some lower yielding environments in this field and some higher yielding environments, and now we have a population curve and responses from both environments. And so that really, then the next no-brainer step then is to fine-tune those populations by environment. And so partnering in this with K-State Extension has really, from a producer standpoint, allowed me to have someone from the outside come and take a third-party view and say, here's maybe a way to think about this, and allowed me to have some useful information to fine-tune my management and improve my profitability.
And I think that when we start putting all this information together, we were thinking in that idea exactly. We are seeing new technologies like drones. We are seeing technologies on variable seeding rate, variable fertilizer rate. And I'm always have that kind of a farmer thinking, no? If I'm a farmer, should I invest on this technology?
Mm-hmm.
Will that pay off in my field? Or what are the basic steps that I need to take in order to move approaching that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that we are very conservative on trying to say, should I go ahead and buy the $500,000 combine or equipment to start doing things on my field? And the main point that I emphasized today also was understanding the variability. And I think that that's one of the main things that we need to move. We need to move forward in that point. Like we are showing here in this area, satellite imagery from mid-season last year, yield monitor, satellite imagery from early season this year, plus using the information to corroborate all the information using this strip trial. So I think that we did some steps before we were able to get to the point. So my thinking and my question for you will be, from this point now, how do you see that we can translate some of this information to other environments?
Yeah, I think I've learned some steps here that I can now understand the steps and take some of those same steps on some of our other fields on our own, and begin to translate some of those steps and this process of thinking to some other fields across our landscape, across our farm, and hopefully other farmers in the community can do the same, and the whole community benefits from the research.
And I think that you make an excellent point. The idea is to make sure that our farmers are well trained and they can follow steps that they might be quite easy. And then our goal from K-State is to make sure to support you and support our farmers. And the support of the farmers might go in the technology on how to put together maps or how to put together satellite imagery. Our main goal is to make sure that you guys can become more profit so we can become more useful.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
I'm Ian DeWall. We're from St. Francis, Kansas, and we're a center pivot dealership. By 2012, as we're nozzling a lot of sprinkler systems down, we started looking at ideas of how can we get this aquifer to a point that's sustainable. We started looking at some technology that was out at that time, and we converted our own farm into an experiment farm. And there we really get to push the limits on water conservation while at the same time trying to maintain profitability and still historical yields or increase yields in most cases. We've since went a little bigger than that. We have this year probably roughly 150 moisture probes out that we've installed for farmers, and we do a full farm water management system with them where we integrate not only the moisture probe but also their pivot technology into that, and weather data, crop modeling, and then make water recommendations to them once a week. And so how typically a season would look like is after the grower plants his crop and gets it up, we will go and install the moisture probe. We do a direct install method, so we don't want to disturb the soil any more than we have to because we want it to be representative for the rest of the field. At that point, we collect the planting information and the crop information. We plug that into a platform that we can track so we can really match our water scheduling with it very accurately. We sync this moisture probe also with a center pivot at that time if he's got accents, so we can real time see what he's doing with his pivot and relevance to where the probe is at. That really helps us adjust our applications if we're seeing that they're penetrating the water too deep or not deep enough. We can really help them target their most active root zone. And then like I said, we make water recommendations every Friday, 4 more unless we've seen there was a significant weather event. And then at the end of the season, before they get to harvest, we will go and extract that probe. We collect all the data so that entire grow season, rainfall, growth, irrigation, scheduling, all that gets archived. And so we're always going to have that information to look back on. So the grower gets all that information, how much water he pumps, so we can evaluate that. And then next year, we can use this kind of information over years to make decisions, making even better, and kind of learn from the evaluated experience that we had year before, and kind of try to build a manual, so to speak, for that specific field. We really have to take into account the size of the well, where it's located at, and if the grower is moving water between 2 pivots. A lot of those things play into there, and how long we can delay our irrigation. We have a tremendous opportunity to save water early in the season, and then especially at the end of the season when we start seeing we're getting to maturity, we know real time how much water is still in our soil, so we can try to make sure we utilize that and not just waste that away. So we're going to try to maximize that. That is a real good opportunity for us to save water too. Instead of over irrigating at the end, we can delay with confidence then.
I think also another thing we do is we don't slurry when we put our probes in. We go straight into the soil. We don't add extra water in and throw our readings off for the whole year. When you disturb the soil with extra water that's not present there all year long, it throws off your readings, which is also another thing that we try to be really accurate on when we install them too.
Yeah. If you are going to schedule irrigation for the whole field based on what 2 plants are seeing, it's got to be exactly what the rest of the field is seeing. We do EM the fields and try to find the most optimal probe placement that's most representative of that field. The placement of the probe is very, very important. And in the off season, we have 4 certified water technicians at our office. In the off season, we all get recertified, and we learn about properties, when it comes to soil and plants, and the relevance of that in water. Every year, whatever is the newest technology at that point, we get updated on it. And every year, it just gets better and better and better as we have more advances in technology all the time.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Derek Sawyer, and I'm a 4th-generation Kansas farmer. I've known all my life I wanted to farm this land near McPherson, which was my grandfather's before me.
I'm Katie Sawyer, a journalist who never dreamed I'd live my life on the farm until I met Derek.
We've married our worlds to help educate consumers about the rural lifestyle and all that farmers do to provide safe and affordable food.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meetafarmer.
As 4th-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Hello friends, I'm Erine Rodina, the Horse Guy, and welcome to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm so excited to be here today with Francis and John Duckworth, dear friends of mine, and you talk about cornerstones in the community, cornerstones in the horse community, a living legend. We've got John Duckworth, and I thought I would always get excited, John, about your horseshoeing, but this is like going to a museum out here. So great to have you on Better Horses.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, our viewers are going to get the chance to see this tremendous display of ironwork. You are truly a blacksmith and an artist, and I just want to commend you on what a great job. I want to talk about horses, but forget horses. Let's talk about all this stuff you're doing with the iron and everything. John, you got a tremendous collection.
Thank you. You know, I always feel like God blessed me with the ability to do it. And if I don't use it, he'll take it away. But I've got the best judge sitting over there whenever I build something. She comes out and critiques it, and you can change. I built 2 crosses for the church. I built 1 cross for the church. Seen it on a banner. It was a real pretty cross. And so I said I can make that look better in iron. I made it in iron, got it all done. She come out and looked at it and said, you know, you can do better than that. If you'd lay the Star of David, overlay it with another star in brass, that should be pretty. So I did. They come down, they took hers, put it at the head of the sanctuary of the church. I mean, but it's neat. It's neat to be able to do it, Ernie.
Francis, you've both been retired since about when?
08.
You're living the dream.
Living the dream every
Manny,
day.
your dreams right here, and he's got the wife, a lady of his dreams right here, and just having a blast. When you talk about your ironwork, but what about your quilts?
And pillows. You'll see the pillows that girl makes.
Well, thank you.
We
definitely enjoyed it.
West of Shawnee, Kansas a little bit, and I'm going to tell folks you're going to see a display of all your type of art and everything, John. They're going to want to know, can they buy it? But you do some commission work out there.
Yeah, I have.
If folks want to get in touch with you, they're going to say, how do we get in touch with this guy? How can we come out and see this stuff? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Call Francis.
Call Francis.
Well, here's what happens, Ernie. I build something, and I just get an idea, so I build it, and when I get it built, she won't sell it. I finished the buffalo up, and I got people want to buy it. She won't sell the buffalo. I finished the bear, and she won't sell the bear. She wants to keep it all.
Sitting here talking to you about John, you're one of the greatest horseshoers, I think, in the country, and you had the opportunity to work with a lot of great ones just around this area. How rewarding that must be.
You know, now I look back on it, and it really was. The guys that they were my mentors. I mean, you inducted Doc Stewart into your Hall of Fame, and he was one of my greatest mentors. He really was. But like R.Q. Sutherland, I got to do a lot of his horses. Merle Wood was probably the greatest mentor I ever had. He was a great friend of mine. Al Becker, president of the American Quarter Horse. I got to work for all these guys, and I've got stories about them all, and horses we got to work on. I love to work on crippled horses. Dr. Barnett probably did more for me in my later years of shoeing because he got me more involved with working on the crippled horses. And I got to work on lots of them and loved it, especially if you win.
And it had to be so rewarding to take a horse that was crippled and fix him and have that horse work right and everything. It had to be so rewarding from that standpoint.
I did. Joe Turner's sister had a mare that foundered, a 12-year-old mare, and the vet up there at Meriden sent the horse down here, said we'll put him to sleep, but John might do something. I made a set of heart bars and put on the horse. Anyway, in a year's time, this horse is back sound, and I told her, she says, can I ride him? And I said, well, you might be a little heavy, give it to a kid. And she leased it to the Wiseman girl out there. The first year, I think she won a saddle and 18 buckles, and I kept getting little notes from Paige every time she'd win something.
And look what that little girl's doing.
Yeah, I know. Look at her today, where she's at today.
But I know it's been in my lifetime, my career before getting to do a lot of this stuff we're doing now. It was a real honor to be able to work with you, John, and get to know you. I consider you a dear friend. And I'm so excited about what you're doing with your second part of your career with this art. Just unbelievable, folks. You got to see it. And I'll have John's number posted on my website. We'll get a hold of you, how to get a hold of him and everything. So it's just great to be here. Wonderful place, Francis. So proud of you. And so much fun. I look forward to coming out here so much because you're dear friends from that standpoint. And I just want to urge everybody to check it out, get a chance to see this. You're going to love the tour we're going to take with you, that we're taking you on with our film crew, showing you this great work and everything. So, you know, I just like to leave on telling you, I hope you invite us back out because I plan on having a summer Better Horses picnic right here on your patio.
We would love it.
Yeah, really good, because I tell you what, you've been such givers and continue to be such givers to the equine industry. One of the greatest blacksmith, artist, a great husband, father, horseman, and it's an honor. I'm a better guy, John, because I know you. I hope you enjoyed this trip to Western Shawnee, Kansas. I'll tell you what, unbelievable. We had a wonderful time. Make sure you tune in to Ag AM in Kansas every day. Until next week, happy trails, and make sure you always ride for the brand.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses in rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously. So I'm tickled to death with the results, and I'd recommend this process to anyone.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Now, as we unload these cattle This is a real nice pasture situation where you usually gather the cattle into, but this time we're using it going out of. Sure, the thing I like to see is these gates. We can swing the gates kind of either direction, but with the flow of cattle. The challenge I'm going to have here with this system is the way we got the gates. We could set it up differently, but I'll stay here and I'll know that we could get some cattle in here. So I'm going to, instead of walking behind these calves, this is going to set me up real good. I'm going to set up here where I go beside these calves, and I'm going to send my leader right down there and try to get him to step out that gate. And I'll just let him find the gate. And I'll just keep working cattle to this cattle. When these cattle come up from behind, they'll keep working in here where these calves find their way out the gate. Now, as soon as they start, I've got to step out here and keep them going through the gate. So the farther forward I work on these calves, the better I'll be at controlling their flow out of this corral and have them not running, but not running by me either. This is really a nice way for these calves to find their way out of this corral. Now I'm behind them. As they get out the corral, they might take off running or leave and go pretty good. But the way they've walked out of here, they don't have that big movement and that fear movement, which is a real benefit when you're getting these cattle to thinking their way in and out of systems.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Summer is busy at Tarwater Farm and Home. We have just about everything you'll need for your summer projects, and we're consistently competitively priced. Tarwaters can help make your grass and garden grow. And we have a huge variety of equipment to cut it. If you have a farm, Tarwaters has the products and equipment to keep it going strong. And our expanded parking lot will make it even more convenient to shop. So come see us at Tarwater Farm and Home in Topeka.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
We're at the K-State Beef Stocker Unit, and this morning we're going to talk about some work that we've been conducting over the last 2 years, focusing entirely on limit feeding of backgrounding calves. There's been a lot of concern in the industry about limit feeding higher energy content to these newly arrived calves. We looked at that and took this project on from a different perspective, looking at utilizing co-products such as corn gluten feed, that being sweet bran or wet distiller's grains, which comprise predominantly the diet. Now we push the energy content of the diet up to 60 NEG, megacals of NEG per 100 pounds of feed. What we found is a 27% improvement in feed efficiency relative to full-fed control cattle. And this is represented by the dramatic improvement in digestibility of the diet. As a consequence of lesser amounts of feed, these animals are able to extract a greater amount of energy content from the diet. So we see a greater improvement. There's a huge variety of benefits from limit feeding. First of all, we feed once a day, not twice a day. We're able to provide the feed to the animals, and typically they consume their rations in about a 3-hour period of time. And so the remainder of the day, their bunks are clean. When it comes to pen cleaning time, we see a dramatic improvement in the amount of manure being removed from the pen. So from an environmental perspective, we see dramatic improvements there. This time of the year and this particular set of environmental conditions in Kansas, where prairie hay is exceeding $120 a ton or so in price, we're only feeding 7.5% of prairie hay and 7.5% of alfalfa in this particular series of diets that we're testing. So we've dramatically removed the amount of fiber from the diets. and getting by with the effective fiber from the co-products that are contained in the diet as well, from the distiller's corn. We anticipate, based upon our previous work, a substantial improvement in feed efficiency, which translates into potentially more dollars for the producer.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.